Growth mindset. So this video is going to be kind of talking about the idea of the growth mindset, and as a language learning channel, this is kind of going to impact how it is good for you learning languages, but it does also apply to everything. So what is a growth mindset? A growth mindset is essentially the belief that skills and abilities are traits anyone can learn through hard work. So someone with a growth mindset doesn't just think, oh, so-and-so is able to do this because of luck or genetics or just things out of their control. They can do this because they earned it. And obviously, straight away, you're going to think, oh, well, I can't be good at basketball because I'm not tall enough, that kind of thing. That is, you can't think of tiny examples like that to try and beat back the growth mindset. The growth mindset reigns supreme, and that people who believe in the growth mindset are able to achieve things that people who don't can't achieve, because they have this mindset that they can learn anything they need to do, and that manifests itself through their abilities. The opposite of the growth mindset is kind of what I just said, which is the fixed mindset. So it's the belief that you're born with intelligence, you're born with skills, and you cannot grow. Your abilities are fixed, and this isn't true at all. But what is true is that both of these attitudes are alike in that they're self-fulfilling prophecies. So people with a fixed mindset will struggle to learn new things because they don't truly believe in themselves. They think that they are unable to learn new things because the people who can do those things didn't have to earn them. They just obtained them, or it was easier for them if they did have to earn them, that kind of thing. And they will give up on things because they don't believe in the merit of hard work. And people with a growth mindset will be able to learn new things, even though it is difficult and they still have to go through the process of learning it. They will be able to, and they're able to self-improve because they know anything is possible, and effort is what dictates results, not luck. Obviously, there is luck. There is, if you're a tall person, you're most likely going to be better at basketball than a short person. But overall, effort is the one thing that does reign supreme overall. So forget everything else out of your head. Don't try and come up with 1,000,001 exceptions and that, oh, I wouldn't be able to do this if I was born with no legs. Yes, of course there are some very unfortunate things that can occasionally impact this, but as a general rule, having a growth mindset is a good thing, and it will allow you to learn things quicker, particularly with language learning. So the growth mindset is the best thinking to adopt when learning anything, but this is kind of how it does apply to language learning. So impact on language learning. The growth mindset is crucial for language learning, and the reason for this is because language learning is already very difficult. Why would you want to do it not believing in yourself? If you don't believe that skills can be acquired through hard work, you're not going to see the merits in your effort, and you're going to quit. So language learning, as a general rule, it will generally take, if you're a first-time language learner, it will take between 1 and several years to learn that language, as a general rule. Don't argue with me on that. It's true. Sorry. And people will often give up learning a lot. I don't know what the exact failure rate is because no one's interviewed every single person who's tried to learn a language, but the failure rate for learning a language is very high, right? We're agreed on that. If you don't believe that you can acquire the ability to speak this language through hard work, you are not going to see the merit in your efforts, and you're going to quit, as I just said. So many people will actually give up learning the language because they get bored. It's too much effort. It's too difficult to do. They're not seeing the results, and they quit. And the reason they quit is because they want a quick result. I'm actually going to talk about that on the next slide, and why I think our society is kind of wired that way. But people want a quick result, and because they can't get it immediately, they have to look for excuses. Then obviously it's because of genetics, it's because other people were born with the ability to learn languages easier, it's because they come from a one language household. They'll look for everything to try and not hold themselves accountable, and those are all things that are part of the fixed mindset. So imagine if you told people who were going to quit a language that success was just around the corner, and you were being genuine, like it was true that success was just around the corner, and they believed you. They probably wouldn't quit, would they? And the reason is because they're about to achieve what they were after. There's no reason to quit, but unfortunately they still do quit because the fixed mindset doesn't have that kind of future sight. So every time you do want to quit from now on, I want you to remember that you are one step closer to your goal if you don't quit, if you keep pushing through. And you owe it to your future self not to get in, because after all, you doing the work in the present, you, as you are now, don't get to enjoy, being an excellent speaker of that language because you're a student in it. But future you does, and future you doesn't have to work to learn the language because present you has given that gift to you in the future, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird, but it does make sense if you think about it. So don't disrespect your future self by not doing the hard work and giving your future self that gift. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. And I see people do it and then they don't feel well after, like they feel down after that. And the reason is because they're disrespecting themselves without even realizing it. When you give up on something that you actually want to do, it's just a bit hard and you can't show the discipline for it. It's disrespecting yourself, and that is what causes kind of that down feeling of quitting. So unfortunately, the fixed mindset will keep trying to creep back in. You're always going to doubt yourself. Sometimes no one's perfect. And the reason, obviously there's a few reasons behind this, but a big reason is, I think, social media and influence and that kind of thing can often be bad for this, because all you see is results and you compare yourself to them, and then you feel like they had it easy and that they have something you don't, and that you're just wasting your time because they have it so easy. You don't have it easy. Either it's genetics or they're doing something that you're not doing, and then you don't really want to be bumming around wasting your time. So this can be really bad and kind of bring the fixed mindset back in, because that's all you're seeing. You're only seeing the result, but you're not seeing the process they put in, because it's rare that people put in like the actual, they don't fully document the whole process of years of hard work it took to get something. They usually only document the results, or the results generally, sorry. So in reality, they did try extremely hard. Everyone you see with a skill that is really desirable did have to try very hard for it. There's no person who speaks 8 languages who just found it easy and they did it in 2 weeks, learned all 8 languages. Someone speaks 8 languages, that took them the best part of a decade minimum. It took them the best part of a decade if they were lucky. How much time have you spent learning languages? I would bet it's probably not the best part of a decade. So there's no logical reason to feel envious that they can speak that and you can't, because look at all the effort they put in. So when acquiring skills, remember these 2 things. There's the process and the result. This has a lot to do with the growth mindset, and it's something that I have heard mentioned, but it doesn't get talked about enough. So I think the West, a lot of the time, because I live in Australia, which is culturally Western, is extremely result focused. So results are the outcome of the work you put in. So for example, learning a language, the result is you can speak the language. The process, on the other hand, is what you have to actually do to go through and learn the language. So we do tend to focus a lot on the result and not on the process involved, and that makes people feel envious, and I think it does contribute a lot to the fixed mindset, because people want to give up when they don't see the process involved and they try and compare themselves to others who seem to just be acquiring things easily. That I can understand that, how that can break people's motivation and that kind of thing. So get this into your head. Nothing comes for free in life. Every skill requires grueling effort to learn. There's no one who gets these things for free, even the people who seem like they do on social media and everything like that. I did not learn Italian in 10 minutes. It took me over a year, and I still make plenty of mistakes. I'm not fluent in it. I can speak it, though, because I put in a lot of effort. So whenever you want to quit and keep going, know that someone else in your same situation, like for example, I presume you've seen people and been envious at some point, unless you just have no envy in your body at all. When you want to quit and you keep going, someone else like you wanted to quit and they did actually quit. So you didn't quit when they did. And now that person is looking at you as if you're lucky. They're looking at you like you look at those people who seem to be like really good without putting in effort. Now you're being looked at like that by someone else. But you know in your head that you did try, you just didn't give up. And they don't know that because they don't know about the growth mindset. So that is unfortunate for them, obviously. But just remember, there is always someone who is looking at you as that person, when in actuality you are the person who tried hard. So don't ever think that the people who look like they have it really easy aren't trying hard. They just are. They're just really cleverly not showing you that. It's actually, if you haven't read the 48 Laws of Power, side note, that is actually a law in there. It's something like never try too hard or something like that. But yeah, interesting. So there you go, that's the video, guys. Based on that, I hope it did kind of teach you a bit about the growth mindset and how you should adopt it. We did talk about a fair few things, but yeah, the growth mindset is basically just the idea that you can learn anything if you put your mind to it, and all skill is acquired through effort, and results are the product of effort and not special luck or anything like that. That's all fixed mindset garbage, and that won't get you anywhere. However, I will talk about my thing I run at the end of the video. If you are a beginner, which you almost certainly are, and you're struggling with language learning concepts, which every beginner is because you don't know any of them as you're beginning, it is an immense task. I understand that, so I would highly recommend you do book a coaching call with me. I do take students over video chat currently from anywhere in the world, and I help them through language learning grievances. I can explain tricky topics. I can do all kinds of things. Anything you want really to help boost your progress. I know what I'm doing, and I can teach you effectively. effectively. At the moment, it is $35 an hour in AUD, which is extremely affordable if you go on other websites and compare that to like actual coaches to help you with stuff. That is an excellent price, and I'm also giving away a bunch of different bonuses, and I'm happy to research your actual grievances outside of our class time, so you won't have to pay me, and I can actually have all the notes with me and teach you everything I need to teach you that you want to know as well, to give you as much help as possible. So yeah, I would extremely recommend that. Check the description if you're interested, and yeah, that's basically everything, guys, for the moment. So yeah, like and subscribe.